I actually have to speak against this amendment, and I'll tell you why. Because the stakes are too high. And I'm not going to talk on behalf of the state of Texas, but I want to speak on behalf of the state of Indiana. It is a common use weapon to protect. And as a mother of 2 daughters, as a woman, I truly believe that is infringement of my rights. And I want to make sure that my children, my grandchildren, and grandchildren and children of my constituents have the same rights to protect them. And I think we need to remind us what really happened in countries like Ukraine right now, that there are a lot of people probably would love to have something, to protect themselves. And we know why we won our war, against kings and queens and became a republic, because our American people had these rights. If you don't have the rights, then you have a police state, or you can have bandits running the show. And I think that is very dangerous. This gives me a freedom as a woman. And I don't, my concern is when we talk about these issues of common use and unusual and dangerous weapons, my concern is what's happening in Afghanistan, what's happening right now in Europe. If we don't take control of some of the things, we'll have javelin and stingers in common use in our cartels, Mexican cartels that have a lot of money right now. And they're big buyers of weapons right now in the markets, and we have an open border. It is a dangerous weapon, and we have to make sure that we deal with these issues and protecting our borders and make sure that we have proper oversight and not abandon dangerous weapons in Afghanistan. That was a disgrace, what we did. And it is going to hurt our cities if we don't get our act together. And I think that is something we need to find a common ground to do. And if you look at the state of Indiana, we had a great example where we have some good red flag laws. And, even though I have some concerns, we put some check and balances in that red flag laws. We had shooting, and the red flag laws didn't stop because they're not getting enforced by the laws. And we had, unfortunately, shooting. And we just recently had one where constitutional carry that stopped shooting, that more people didn't die. So we have to think what works, what doesn't work, because this bill is really about taking the rights from law-abiding citizens. And that is a problem that we have a big difference. So we have a lot of debates here about a different position, and we go on this series, and I'm not academic, okay? I'm not going to go, and I don't care what this law is. The laws are not for academics. We are the belief of this rights of Second Amendment rights as American citizens or don't believe. And if we don't believe, then we better tell us our children and grandchildren that they are not protected against foreign and domestic enemies and tyranny government. And they're not protected from bandits, and they're not going to be protected and guaranteed their life and safety protected. And as a woman, I truly believe is an ultimate equalizer, and only people like immigrants like me and women are going to be suppressed in this right, because they're the first one. I've had personal experience on that, because somehow it looks suspicious speaking as an accent. So I will defend these rights for all people and all immigrants who came to this country to have these freedoms. That is what differentiates us against everyone else. That's why people are willing to come to this country, even illegally to cross the border, because they want to have freedoms, not oppression and suppression.
This is really powerful and truthful testimony from Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, who has lived in a communist country, who grew up in the rubble of Ukraine, and understands what it means to live in a country where our rights are not enshrined in a document as beautifully written and as important as the United States Constitution. Why is it that the Democrats, and right now I'm talking about the Democrat Party in Congress, but also the media talking heads, CNN, MSNBC, liberal journalists, not listen to Congress people and Americans like her who have lived experiences in growing up in countries in which Second Amendment rights don't exist, First Amendment rights don't exist. The government has all of the power. Either the Democrats are completely ignorant to history, or they are propagandist puppets for the Democrat regime who seeks to take away our rights so they have more power. Bravo to brave American citizens like Victoria Spartz, who came to this country for the right reasons, the right way, and are speaking their truth to protect and defend our democracy, our real democracy, unlike what the Democrats like to say. using that term.